Hello. Before we begin, I would like to share the link so Thai people can watch it too. Okay. Today, before we begin, let's pay respect to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังธัมมังสังฆังนะมัสสามิ Hello everyone. Hi Gita Brown, hi Richard, hi Pumika. So good morning to you in New Jersey, and as you can see now, it's in the evening in Thailand. Today, as usual, we're going to see each other, right? Every Thursday. The topic today that we're going to discuss is about the 7 ways to end defilements. It's from Majjhima Nikaya, the middle discourse, Majjhima Nikaya, Majjhima Panna, right? Middle discourse number 2, all the defilements, or in Pali, it's called Sabbāsavasutta. Sabbāsavasutta. Hi Jim McCarty, hi P. Anatali, and hi Sumit Thammika. Okay, actually this sutra is recommended by Vivian, one of the Upasika who listened to the Dhamma to this session, and she requests this sutra, and I find it very interesting, even though it's a bit long, but yeah, I think we can cover this sutra in 1 hour. Okay, so I already post the link so you can read it through together. Okay, of the defilements. This is the English translation by the Bhikkhu Sujato. Okay, let's start. So I have heard at one time the Buddha was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's monastery. There the Buddha addressed the Bhikkhu, and all the Bhikkhu. Venerable sir, they replied. And then the Buddha said, Bhikkhu, I will teach you the explanation of the restraint of all defilements. Listen and apply your mind well. I will speak. Listen carefully. So this sutra, the Buddha will talk about the restraint, the end of all defilements. The Buddha said, Bhikkhu, I'm sorry, I forgot that I did the presentation for you as well. Okay, all the defilements. The Buddha said, I say that the ending of defilements is for one who knows and sees, not for one who does not know or see. For one who knows and see what? Right? Knows and see what? Rational application of mind and irrational application of mind. So we're going to stop here. The Buddha said the ending of defilement is for one who knows and see. And then see what? Know what, right? In Pali word, they use the vocabulary yoniso manasika. Yoniso manasikara, or the rational application of mind, as the translation of Bhikkhu Sujato, or the wise attention, or in Thai, there might be something a bit different. It's rational application of mind, but yoniso manasikara, right? Yoniso is like um, using the wisdom. Manasi is the heart, the mind. Kara is to do. So you have to do it, use it with the mind. For example, if you as I used to give a Dhamma talk about the two factors for the wisdom to arise. The first one, parato kosa, you listen from someone else. The second one, yoniso manasikara, so you comprehend, you reflect, you contemplate that you have listened from someone else, put into the mind, put into thinking, reflect, contemplate. That is the word yoniso manasikara. But here Bhikkhu Sujato translate as rational application of mind, which is, I agree. But I like this one. Wise attention should be another translation as well. And also, I cannot put into just one word, but as I described, when you listen the Dhamma or the teaching from someone else, and then you embrace it, contemplate, reflect it. So you think about it with the cause and effect, with the rational application of mind. So the Buddha said, for one who knows and see what? Yoniso manasikara, wise attention, and irrational application of mind by not paying attention at all. Just like when you listen to the Dhamma and then you just ignore it, just forget about it. You don't have you don't put your heart into it. You don't have like the wise attention or the application of mind. Okay, and in another commentary, they just explain the one who knows and sees as the one who attain the first stage of noble disciple, the stream enterer, sotapanna people. Knows and see. I explained in I think last week. For the one who knows and see is the one who really see the Four Noble Truths. For example, I can tell you that okay, my house is on 5th Street. Is on the right hand side, 5th Street, right? On the right hand side, and you can see the red house. Now you know the information. But if I ask you, have you seen it? Have you come to my house yet? You say like, no, I haven't seen it. I've never been to your house before. So you know, but you don't see for yourself. You don't experience for yourself. But if I invite you and then I take you to my house, so you okay, now this is the 5th Street, is on my right hand side, is the red house. This is like this shade of red, something like that. So now you know, and then you see. It's just like the first stage of the noble disciple. Know the Four Noble Truths because they learn from someone else, they listen to someone else, and then really see the suffering, really see the desire, the craving as the origin of suffering. They see the Nibbana, but haven't reached it yet. And they know and then see that, the Noble Eightfold Path is the path to the end of suffering, something like that. So, yeah. And then this to explain more. The wise attention can be described as thinking in terms of causal or cause relationships, such as the consequences of one's thoughts and actions or exploration of the conditioned nature of phenomena, which will lead to the development of insight or wisdom. So you think and then it's gonna develop to insight or wisdom. This is yoniso manasikara. And then the Buddha said, when you apply the mind irrationally, defilements arise, and once arise, they grow. When you apply the mind rationally, defilements don't arise, and those that have already arisen are given up, are abandoned, are disappeared. So this is the importance of, the rational application of mind and irrational application of mind, yoniso manasikara or ayoniso manasikara. Very, very important. Mhm. And then the Buddha said, Bhikkhu, some defilements should be given up by seeing, some by restraint, some by using, some by enduring, some by avoiding, some by dispelling, and some by developing. So there are 7 ways for some defilements, to be given up. So it's not like, one method for like one defilement, no. It depends on the situation. If by seeing, or then like how to tackle the problem, how you get rid of the defilement. So it's very beneficial for us to learn all the 7 ways so we can know and then we can use it case by case. Starting from the first one, defilements given up by seeing. What are the defilements that should be given up by seeing? Take an unlearned ordinary person who has not seen the noble ones and is neither skilled nor trained in the teaching of the noble ones. They've not seen true persons and are neither skilled nor trained in the teaching of the true persons. So, seeing what? Like for the unlearned ordinary person, Putushana, they haven't seen the noble ones. They haven't seen the true person, the one who practiced himself, like, and then try to follow the path led by the Buddha. They don't understand to which things they should apply the mind and to which things they should not apply the mind. So they apply the mind to things they shouldn't and don't apply the mind to things they should. Right? Because they haven't met the one who know, the one who are wise enough to tell them this is good and this is bad, this is skillful, this is unskillful, this is unwholesome, this is wholesome, for example. So they don't know which thing they should apply the mind to and which thing they should not apply the mind. So they did the wrong thing. What are the things to which they apply the mind but should not? They are the things that when the mind is applied to them, when you think about it, give rise to unarisen defilements and make arisen defilements grow. The defilements of sensual desire to be reborn, and ignorance. So because, they don't see the people who can guide them, they don't see the person who are wise enough to tell, which and which. So they apply the mind to things that give rise to unarisen defilements. Or actually, I don't, feel any anger, or I don't, feel the desire. But when you think about this thing, when you see about this thing, like, oh, I think I want a new mobile phone. Oh, I think I want this and that. Give rise to unarisen defilements and make arisen defilements grow. And what are the things to which they do not apply the mind but should? They are the things that when the mind is applied to them, do not give rise to unarisen defilements and give up arising defilements. The defilements of sensual desire, desire to be reborn, and ignorance. For example, when they see people sick, in the hospital, and a lot of people, got sick, and they have a lot of suffering. And even though actually you should think about it like, you gonna be like that one day. Maybe now you are healthy, you are strong, you are still young, but one day you're gonna be old, you're gonna be, sick and aging. So if you don't think about it, to see, like beautiful scenery, I would like to go and see the concert, things like that. So it's gonna give rise to the all defilements, right? But think that you should see like sick people, old people, they don't. But even though it's not pleasant to the eyes, right, to see like dead people, to see like the sick people, but with the defilement that already arises, maybe you still wish to be reborn as like the beautiful person. You are still wish to reborn in, this country, that country. Maybe because you see like if I'm gonna be born again, gonna be sick, gonna be old, and gonna die again, then all the defilements that are already arising, gonna get rid of it, something like that. And then because of applying the mind to what they should not, and not applying the mind to what they should, unarising defilements arise, and arising defilements grow. This is how they apply the mind irrationally. Now the Buddha even, elaborate. Okay, now I would like you to know this is how to apply the mind irrationally. For example, when you think, did I exist in the past? Did I not exist in the past? What was I in the past? How was I in the past? After being what? What did I become in the past? Will I exist in the future? Will I not exist in the future? What will I be in the future? How will I be in the future? After being, that, what? What will I become in the future, in the next life? Am I? Am I not? What am I? How am I? This essential being, where did it come from? And where will it go? This is what the Buddha said. How for the people who haven't seen, or someone like the noble disciple or the true person will apply the mind irrationally. And when they apply the mind irrationally in this way, one of the following 6 views arises in them and is taken as a genuine fact. Because of you apply your mind irrationally, then you're going to have this kind of view. The first one, myself does not survive, not exist. I perceive the self with the self. The third one, I perceive what is not self with the self. The fourth one, I perceive the self with what is not self. The fifth one, this self of mine, is he, the speaker, the knower who experiences the result of good and bad deeds in all the different realms. And the last one, this self is permanent, everlasting, eternal, imperishable, and will last forever and ever. So this is what the Buddha said when you apply the mind irrationally. So why is it so wrong to think about the past life, to think about the future life? It's not something that you should focus on. Why? Because in the past it's already gone. And the future, you cannot expect, I want to be born in the heaven realm, something like that. You cannot, 100% like choose where to go unless you like continuously do the good deed and then you go to the good places, something like that. But if you think about it, in the past, in the future, am I exist? Or this is like a dream or not, something like that. It's not beneficial. Why? The Buddha said, because this is called a misconception. The thickest of views, the desert, of views, the twist of views, the dodge of views, the fetter of views. An unlearned ordinary person who is fettered by views is not freed from rebirth, old age, and death, from sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, and distress. They are not free from suffering, the Buddha said. So why all these things happen? Because they didn't see the one who can guide them. They haven't seen the noble disciple. They haven't seen the true persons. So they have the misconception. They think about the past, about the future. They're curious about the present moment. Am I exist? Is it self, not self, something like that. And this kind of, ideas or views is not beneficial, because if you think about this and contemplate only about it, not just think of the Four Noble Truths or thing that you should apply the mind to, then you're not free from rebirth, old age, death, sorrow, pain, sadness, and distress. But on the contrary, take a learned noble disciple who has seen the noble ones, who has seen the true persons, and is skilled and trained in the teaching of the noble ones, of the true persons. They understand to which things they should apply the mind and to which things they should not apply the mind. So they know what is right and what is wrong, right? So they apply the mind to things they should and don't apply the mind to things they should not. This is why the Buddha talk about giving up the defilement by seeing. Seeing what? Seeing the noble ones, the true persons. And then you have to be trained. You have to be skilled in the teaching of them as well. Not just see, but not train. Yeah, see and trained. And what are the things to which they don't apply the mind and should not? They are the things that when the mind is applied to them, give rise to unarisen defilements and make arisen defilements grow. The defilement of sensual desire, desire to be reborn, and ignorance. What are the things to which they do apply the mind and should? Now this is interesting. This is the thing that you should apply the mind to. Whatever, thinking, whatever thing that when the mind is applied to them, when you think about it, do not give rise to unarisen defilements and give up arisen defilements. Give up the defilements of sensual desire, give up the desire to be reborn, and then get rid of ignorance. So you can see now that the Buddha give very broad explanation, right? Broad range of things. It's not just you have to think about this. You have to think about the Four Noble Truths only. You have to think about the what is it? The Noble Eightfold Path only. You should think about the Noble Wills only. No, it's not about that. But you should apply the mind to think that do not give rise to unarisen defilements and give up arisen defilements. So it's kind of broad, but it's the truth and it's what we should learn. Because of not applying the mind to what they should not and applying the mind to what they should, unarisen defilements don't arise and arisen defilements are given up. This is from what? From seeing the noble ones and be trained and be skilled in the teaching of the noble ones. That is the first one. Oh, They rationally apply the mind. This is suffering. This is the origin of suffering. This is the cessation of suffering. This is the practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. This is the realization of the Four Noble Truths. This is like the suggestion that the Buddha said, oh, put your mind, contemplate about these four things, and then cover a lot of the, many sutra, gonna cover all the Four Noble Truths. So this, when the Buddha said, this is rationally apply the mind to the Four Noble Truths. Because if you think about the suffering, the origin of suffering, and then the unarising defilements don't arise, and arising defilements are given up. Okay? Number 2, defilements given up by restraint. This is what the monastic do every day. Oh no, should do every day. Yeah. So we all should learn about it too. Take a bhikkhu, a mendicant who reflecting rationally restrain the faculty of the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. For the distressing and feverish defilements, greed or anger do not arise when there is such restraint. The word restraint here in Pali, we use the word sangvara. Sangvara is like restraint or protect or to guard yourself. To guard what? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So when you see things, you don't grasp. Actually, I don't know why, but in Pali and then in Thai translation, there are more. But in the English translation, they're just like that. But so I'm going to add more. So the word by restraint the eye, ear, nose, because when you see things, for example, when you see, don't grasp it as a whole. For example, if you see like the whole body of the woman, the whole body of the man, then you see like, oh, I can see from afar, even from the back, that is my teacher. Oh, that is Ayya Soma. Oh, I think that is James, my neighbor. You think you grasp the whole image. So the Buddha said, protect, guard the eye, ear, all the sense door, not to grasp it by the whole image, or not to grasp it, by the individual piece. I don't know what's it called. For example, oh, that person, I can see, I can, even, from far, from the back, I know that is my teacher, Prajanandayani. Or, oh, I remember her eyes. Have you, seen like the game show or something like that in the variety show that guess person from the eye, guess person from the smile, from the teeth, from the hand, something like that. So you don't grasp by the hand, by the eye, like the individual thing, like separate thing. Why? I'm gonna give you more examples so you understand more. When we protect the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, it's very crucial. For example, when the monastic go for alms round, we have to go into the village, right? And in the past, they don't have like the closed door, or like they live like in the normal way, like Indian a long time ago. So we walk, but the monastic walk into the village, into where the people actually live, right? So in the morning, maybe some people just, like dress, just like when you dress at home. You don't have to dress like appropriately, like you have to wear long skirt or long sleeve, something like that. You can wear like a short sleeve or maybe shorts because it's in your house, right? But when the monk go on to alms road and then pass your house and then Maybe the monk see, oh, she wears shorts. Oh, the whole body. This is just the young girl. Maybe, and even though not maybe, because it's in many sutra, many discourse that the monk go for alms round and then see the lady in the village and then go back to the temple and want to disrobe because he think like, I'm still young and she's still young, so maybe I can have a chance to get married or something like that. So the Buddha said, protect the eye, guard the eye. Don't grasp the whole image like, oh, this is like the body of the woman. Oh, this is the body of the man. Don't grasp just each thing. For example, when you give a Dhamma talk, for the forest monastery in Thailand, I don't know, in Western culture, in Thailand, when the monk give a Dhamma talk, for some place, we just, like, don't look at him in the eye. We just, like, don't look at the monk when they give the Dhamma talk in some places. Why? Because if you look, or maybe when the monk give a Dhamma talk, they don't look you in the eye. Because if you look you in the eye and then, oh, wow, that girl have beautiful eyes, something like that. If something like that happen, that means you don't be mindful enough for the monastic. So in order to prevent that to happen, then you have to restrain, you have to protect your eye not seeing. Or if you're going to see, be mindful before you have a look, be mindful before you walk, be mindful before you touch, be mindful before you listen, something like that. So this is when we reflecting rationally, restrain the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And this is the, I'm going to have to find in the sutra. And these are called the defilements that should be given up by restraint. So you don't give a chance for the anger, for the greed to arise. Because you're not careful enough with the sense door, the sixth sense door. Number 3, defilements given up by using. By using this one, we have to chant every time before we use, like for the monastic. Take a bhikkhu who, reflecting rationally, makes use of robes. Before we use the robe, after taking a bath, before we use the robe, we have to chant. We have to contemplate. We wear the robes only for the sake of warding off cold and heat, for warding off the touch of flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, and reptiles, and for covering up the private parts. This is how we should contemplate before using the robes. The first one. The second one, reflecting rationally before make use of alms food. Not for fun, not for pleasure, not for adornment or decoration, but only to sustain this body, to avoid harm, and to support spiritual practice. In this way, I shall put an end to all discomfort, like hunger, and not give rise to new discomfort, hungry again, and I will live blamelessly and at ease. So before we eat, the alms food, then we have to reflect like, this food not for fun, like a snack, I want to eat just for fun, just let time pass by or something like that. Not for pleasure, not for adornment or decoration. What is that? For example, when like for some people who eat like the collagen supplement, thing to make your skin look prettier, or when you have some kind of protein to have like the muscle, something like that. So that's considered when you eat for adornment or for the decoration of the body, to make the body look better, prettier, and decoration. But we eat only to sustain of the body and to support the practice. If you eat less, no, if you eat like so little, and then you might get hungry and it's not comfortable for you to practice. But if you eat too much, and then you're gonna, sleep a lot or something like that. So we have to reflect before make use of alms food. The third one, reflecting rationally before making use of lodgings. Lodgings include the chair, the bed, the table, and things like that is included in the lodgings. We use the chair, the bed, the table, and everything about like that, everything of that sort, only for the sake of warding off cold and heat, of warding off the touch of flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, and reptiles, to shelter from harsh weather and to enjoy the retreat. So for the monastic, we cannot really, choose like, oh, I want to live in that room. That room looks fancier than that room. I want the room with the AC. I want the room with the curtain. I want the room with, this kind of door, something like that. We cannot choose because we use it as a shelter from the weather, from warding off cold and heat, from the touch of flies and mosquitoes. So we can sleep anywhere as long as we are safe from the flies, mosquito, wind, sun, and the harsh weather. And the last one, reflecting rationally before making use of medicines and supplies for the sick, only for the sake of warding off the pains of illness and to promote good health. So whatever you eat, you take as a medicine or supplies for the sick, like things like for the sick people, then we have to reflect and contemplate that this is the thing, the supplementary food that I'm gonna take because I'm sick or for the good health, but not for like pleasure, not for adornment, for decoration, for the better skin, a brighter skin, or something like that. No. So the distressing and feverish defilements, the hatred, the greed, desire that might arise do not arise when they are used. So we have to, to be too concerned about it. Before we use anything, we have to contemplate. I don't use it because of greed. I don't use it because of hatred. I don't use it because of, anger, jealousy or something like that. But I use with the wisdom. This is why the Buddha told all the monastic that you have to do this before you use anything in your everyday life. When you're going to eat, then you have to chant. Patisankhayo niso pindapatang patisewami. This is in Pali, right? We have to chant before we eat take the medicine. Then we have to chant like Patisankhayo so kilana pachaya pesacha, something like that. So we have to be mindful and use the wisdom whether you should take it or not take it. You should use it or not use it. If you use this kind of lodging, oh, so fancy, beware. Don't cling to it or something like that. So you have to use with the wisdom. And that's the third one. The fourth one, defilements given up by enduring. Take the mendicant bhikkhu who reflecting rationally endure cold, heat, hunger, and thirst, the touch of flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, and reptiles, rude and unwelcome criticism, put up with physical pains, sharp, severe, acute, unpleasant, disagreeable, and life-threatening, for the distressing and feverish defilements that might arise do not arise when they are endured. So sometimes, so now this is like the fourth one, right? This is the fourth one, right? For some case, then you should, restrain Some cases you should contemplate before using, and some cases you have to reflect, you contemplate, and then endure. What you should endure the cold, the heat, hunger, thirst, touch of flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, reptiles, endure the rude and unwelcome criticism, and then endure the physical pain, even though it's unpleasant and disagreeable or life-threatening. You have to endure it. For the hatred and anger that might arise, do not arise because you endure. Oh, this is interesting question that should ask reflecting, for example, reflecting before using, right? This I'm gonna summarize again and in the end, but as you mentioned it, so it's good to mention about it now. This guideline you can all apply to you, even though you don't have patisankha yoniso kilana pachata as the monastic. But before you eat, before you take the medicine, before you do anything, you can use the wisdom. I should take it or not take it. For example, for some people, I don't know, durian. Durian is, for many people, they like to eat durian. It's like the fruit in Thailand or in the, like tropical country. Durian is very delicious for many people. But if you have it's not good for people who have a specific health problem. Just for example, if you like cake, I like all the things that so yummy, so delicious, but it's not good for your health, and then you have to contemplate before you eat with the wisdom, right? Should I take it? Should I eat it? Or if I can eat it, maybe how much? The amount. So I can eat just a bit, but if you eat too much, then you can go to the hospital, then you have to admit to the hospital. So you have to use the wisdom before you eat. Just like mentioning about the durian in Thailand, we have the durian season and people love to eat it. And in Thailand, it's very hot. When you eat durian, then you have to eat in a with just a small amount. Maybe you cannot eat the whole thing, because if you eat a whole thing and then you be in the hot weather, and if you drink alcoholic, and then you can go to the hospital. So you have to use the wisdom, contemplate before you eat, before you take medicine, before you stay in one place, like, oh, is this safe enough, or is this good or not, like gonna be safe, it gonna make me attached to it or not. And then you have to be mindful before you use anything, something like that. So this is like how you can make use and then apply to even for the lay people. Okay. And then by endure, here both monastic and lay people, you can reflect rationally and then endure all these things. Cold, heat, hunger, so you don't complain easily. When people complain a lot, you don't like that person that much, right? Like, oh, why you have to complain a lot? But it's just the weather, it's like the cold and the heat. When it's normal for you to get cold in snow or something like that, so you don't complain. If you're cold, then you have to prepare yourself, wear a lot of sweater or something like that. So something we should endure. So the anger and the hatred or the desire that might arise do not arise when you endure or when they are endured. The fifth topic is defilements given up by avoiding. So here's very interesting. Some cases the Buddha told us to endure, like the cold, the heat, something like that. Think that like it's the nature you should endure, but something you should avoid. Defilement given up by avoiding. Avoiding what? Avoid a wild elephant, a wild horse, a wild ox, dogs, snakes, some thorny ground, a pit, a cliff, a swamp, and a sewer. Reflecting rationally, they avoid sitting on inappropriate seats, walking in inappropriate neighborhoods, and mixing with bad friends, whatever sensible spiritual companion would believe to be a bad setting. This I would like to mention, in Pali we use the word akochara. Akochara meaning the inappropriate place and inappropriate people, that we should know like this is appropriate, this is not appropriate, this is dangerous, this is safe. So you should avoid something that is dangerous, something that is inappropriate, or something that risky that will lead you to something bad, or something bad will happen if you put yourself into the risky situation. For the lay people, then you have to know, oh, you shouldn't mess up with the wild elephant. You should avoid it. It's not just like, oh, the wild elephant, I should go and then pray the loving kindness. Maybe not just yet. You should avoid it first. Or if you know that you're not strong enough mentally to be alone with the female, like beautiful female, then you should avoid yourself in that situation. Don't put yourself, be in one room with another female that you might, have a crush on 10 years ago or something like that. If you know that it's inappropriate, that you know that it's risky for the greed, for the desire that haven't arisen, gonna arise, you should avoid it. And to talk about the kochara, actually for the monastic, this is for monastic, the bhikkhu and bhikkhuni, we have the kochara and akochara as well, the thing that we should avoid and the place that we should avoid. For example, people that we should avoid, for the bhikkhu, they should avoid the female sex workers. I don't know, I can't remember the name of the sutta. The bhikkhu should avoid the sex workers. If they go to give the dana, if they go, the Buddha even accept the dana from the sex workers, it's fine. But avoid yourself to be in the same room alone with the sex workers. It's not appropriate. Okay? Avoid being alone with the sex workers, with the widow, with the woman, like any age, with the woman in a young age, and then the woman, the old woman who's not married yet, with the bhikkhuni. Bhikkhu and bhikkhuni shouldn't be, like together in one place, like in one room. Yeah. And then the place that we should avoid, like the clubhouse, no, the club, the bar, the pub, something like that. So that is the place that it's a bit risky, it's inappropriate, and you should avoid yourself into that situation, into that place, or with that kind of person. So this is the thing that the Buddha said, defilement given up by avoiding. Number 6, defilements given up by dispelling. Reflecting rationally doesn't tolerate. You shouldn't tolerate a sensual, malicious, or cruel thought that has arisen, but gives it up, get rid of it, eliminates it, and obliterates it. They don't tolerate any bad, unskillful qualities that have arisen, but give them up, get rid of it, get rid of them, eliminate them, and obliterate them. So something that you should get rid of, then you should, get rid of it, give it up, Don't, don't like negotiate or, like, oh, this is bad thought. But think of it, just a bit. Shouldn't be, harmful. No, doesn't tolerate essential, cruel thought. Don't tolerate any bad, unskillful quality. You should get rid of them. Mhm. This is the defilement given up by dispelling. And the last one, defilements given up by developing. It's when a bhikkhu, reflecting rationally, develops the awakening factors of mindfulness. What are they? There are 7 factors of mindfulness. Sati, mindfulness. Keen investigation of the Dhamma, Dhamma Vichaya. Energy or effort, Viriya. Rapture or happiness, Piti. Calm or tranquility, Passathi. Concentration, Samadhi. And equanimity, Upekkha. Then you should develop this kind of thing. Be mindful. And then when you listen to the Dhamma, then you have, like investigate, contemplate. Oh, this is good. This sutra is good for that case, the kind of, specific situation. They should use this one. It's just like the Buddha have many kind of medicine, many kind of dishes on the dining table. And then you can choose, oh, I want that one for this case. Oh, I want another one for this case. You know what to choose. But before you know what to choose, then you have to, have the keen investigation of the Dhamma, Dhamma Vichaya. This is the wisdom as well. You should have the right effort, then have the happiness in practicing, and then reach the state of the tranquility, the mind to be calm, tranquil, stable, and then reach the meditative state of mind concentration, and then equanimity, upekkha. These are what you should develop, and that's it. Oh, sorry. And the Buddha said, when you develop these 7 things, which rely on seclusion, fading away, cessation, and repent as letting go, or the nibbana, and then you will reach the nibbana. For the distressing and feverish defilements that might arise in someone who lives without developing these things do not arise when they are developed. So the unwholesome quality, anger, hatred that do not arise, it might arise, right? But get rid of it because you develop the good thing instead. These are called the defilements that should be given up by developing. Now, take a mendicant who, by seeing, has given up the defilement that should be given up by seeing. By restraint, they've given up the defilement that should be given up by restraint. By using, they've given up the defilement that should be given up by using. By enduring, they've given up the defilement that should be given up by enduring. By avoiding, they've given up the defilement that should be given up by avoiding. By dispelling, they've given up the defilement that should be given up by dispelling. By developing, they've given up the defilement that should be given up by developing. They are called a bhikkhu who lives having restrained all defilements, who has cut off craving, untied the fetters, and by rightly comprehending conceit, has made an end of suffering. This is what the Buddha said. Satisfied, the bhikkhus approve what the Buddha said. And this is the sutta called Sabbāsavasutta, all the defilements. And then, I hope you understand, it's quite long. Should ask also, if you are saying seeing into Four Noble Truths, is it the same as attaining stream entry? So some defilement won't go away until stream entry? if you mean like the all defilements like the kilesa, right? Kilesa, defilements, you can get rid of the for the stream enter, they can get rid of the first three fetters, here. Here, this is the list of the 10 fetters. The first one, belief in a self. Number 2, doubt or uncertainty, especially about the Buddha awakeness or about the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And then attachment to rites and rituals, attachment to the precepts, like, oh, I have the good precepts and I should act like a cow to be a sacred person, something like that. The first one, the stream enterer, can get rid 100% of the first three. So seeing the Four Noble Truths, some defilements won't go until you become the Sotapanna, the stream enterer. You can still have, the feeling of self, right? Oh, me, myself, you still have belief in a self sometimes when the ignorance arises. But when you listen to the Dhamma, maybe the belief in a self, disappear, fade away. But it might come again because you're not the noble disciple yet. Sometimes you have doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. It's normal for like the ordinary people. But if you are the stream enterer, no more the first three, no more. So people say like you cannot change the religion, you cannot change your belief once you become like the stream enterer. Yes, seeing into the Four Noble Truth is actually meaning that you are the noble disciple. For the ordinary people, even skillful, unskillful, they know only, but not really see. But we will know. We can have this, like specific, have this like degree of knowing, of seeing, but not 100% to be able to get rid of the first three fetters. Yes, of course, you know the Four Noble Truths. I think I see the suffering. I see for myself. I experience the suffering myself. I know, the desire is the origin of suffering. You know about this. But sometimes you still have doubt. Sometimes you still attach to the precept, to the how to not attach to the precept. You use the precept with wisdom, then you're not attached to it. So you might say that, okay, I know I see the Four Noble Truths, but it's not 100%. If it's 100%, if you are really like the stream enter, then you can get rid of these three things like 100%, all of it. Not gonna give right to them anymore. Okay. So 2 minutes left. So gonna take this time to say hi to you all. Hi, P. Anatali. Hi, Sumit. Hi, Shayanta Fernando. Hello, I believe you're from Burma, right? Sadhu. Hi, Shayanta. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Hi, Douglas. Hi, Amaranta. Hi, Piku Asita. Sadhu, Sadhu. Hi, Sud, and then hi, Vivian. Hi, Niranchan. Venerable Pikuni, I'm from Nepal, Buddha's birthplace. Sadhu. Hi, Egot, right? Hi, Ronald. Namo Amitofo. Hi, Karuna. And hi, Kasuko Yamamoto. I hope you learned something, very beneficial today. Hi, Shaya Rari, right? This sutra is something that maybe you should, like read through and then study over and over, because it's not that easy one. It's not easy to understand, in just one time. Even though, for Thai people, it's not that frequent, it's not that often to be able to hear this sutra. It's quite hard, actually. So it's a lot of merit for you all to, that means you did a lot of good, merit in your past life to be able to really and listen to this, and then have a chance to listen to it, and then you all can study further. What I would like to, emphasize is yoniso manasikara, rational application of mind, or the wise attention. You should give rise to this. You should make it happen, develop it, the wise attention, because it's very, very crucial. Even though you listen to a lot of Dhamma, but you don't contemplate, you don't reflect, you don't pay attention to it, put it in practice, put it in your heart, and then ponder, think about it over and over until you realize the cause and effect, the relation, to each part. And if you don't put and then compare to your daily life, so the Dhamma is when you listen, it's when you read from the text and then put it into practice, put it into the daily life, and then be able to really see in your life, experience it in your life, and that gonna, polish more and more. So you're gonna have deeper and deeper understanding of it. For example, now you know what is the Four Noble Truths, right? But if you contemplate it a lot and then you, compare, this and that, cause and effect. What is the cause? What is the effect? What is the cause? What is the consequences, for example? Then you have a deeper understanding. Each time you think about it, each time you contemplate it. And when, use your daily life as the lesson. Learn the lesson from your daily life. Oh, this is bad. This is what I should not do. Now I know. Why? Because it gives bad consequences. I shouldn't talk like that. I shouldn't think like that. I shouldn't behave like that. And you can make use of, this sutra. Even though you're not the monastic, but something you can adapt and then apply into your daily life. For example, contemplate before using. Because some defilement can be given up. Because you contemplate, you reflect before using with the wisdom. Is it beneficial or is dangerous? Is it good for the health or is bad for health? This, does the mind gonna attach to it if I, live like this for a long, long time? If I eat, if I live my life like this, the craving grow more or lessen, something like that. You should have, reflect and contemplate. So all these things you can make use in your daily life. It's beneficial both for the monastic and for the lay people. So I think that's it for today. No more question, right? And it's already more than 1 hour. Sorry for that, but it's very good sutra. So I encourage you to read through the sutra, the links that I provided, earlier in the comment section, or you can, come back and then listen to it one more time. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for everyone for coming and listening together, studying together, and then we'll learn more. You help me as well. So thank you very much. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to, read through a lot of the sutra like this. Okay. Hope you enjoy and then hope you learn. Let us pray Sadhu 3 times together. Sadhu, 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 Anumodhami. May the power of the Triple Gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Noble Disciple, the Sangha, protect you all. May you be healthy and happy in the Buddha Sasana. Thank you very much. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Douglas, Vivian, Igor, and P. Anatali. Goodbye. Have a good day, everyone. See you again next week.